Okay, we'll get started now. I will start with again another um, proverb before we get started. This one: it is better to dwell in a desert land than with a contentious and fretful woman. Um, and
宁可住在旷野，不与争吵，使气的妇人同住。
Okay, so and there's our picture of to try to get the understanding what contentious has the idea of contentious. This is sort of the image of the cartoon person drew based on that. And then I found then 你的towel，你放你去洗澡的间，你离开你的抹布在地下，还有你的袜子留在那里，为什么你没有？为什么你没有？你看那个毛桶，你尿在那个毛桶的上面，没有洗净的，为什么你这样的做？好像我练这20年要搞照顾这个东西，为什么你还没有学习？为什么？Okay, so the proverb again just Solomon Wang wrote. He also wrote same thing. He also wrote it in a slightly different way. Here's another way of him writing it. It is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than to share a house with a contentious woman. Same meaning again.
宁可住在屋顶的角上，不在宽阔的房屋，与争吵的妇人同住。
How? Okay, so this is his advice from Solomon to advice to young men when you are choosing a wife or a girlfriend. You should be careful not to be just saying, "Oh, how beautiful, how 漂亮," but you must also think about character. Character is much more important if you are going to live with someone for many, many years than initial beauty or charm. That you must try to look at person's character. So this is a suggestion from Solomon. Okay, so that's today's piece of wisdom from Solomon. Let's continue now. The next is I need to do attendance, right? So let's get that done. Okay. Okay, attendance. Okay, shunk. Oh. Kind of huge. Okay, let's get this down to a more normal size. Okay, so I can see everything. Okay, good. Okay, let's just hide these guys. Okay, maybe I better. Okay, I don't want. Let's hide this. Hide. And let's forget about your Chinese. Let's hide that too. Okay, then we can expand a bit. Okay, good. All right. John. Good. Okay. Oops. Chinese. Okay, let's try again. And when I call your name, please tell me your favorite color and favorite animal. If you were to choose, what animal is your favorite animal and what is your favorite color? Okay, John. And which? Koala. Okay. All right. Ben. Blue and cats. Good. Okay. Then you would like my cat. My daughter has a white cat. But my son Leon, he's always trying to do experiments. So he took and diluted some ink from pens, blue pens, and poured it over the cat. So the cat is now blue. So my daughter is very unhappy with her brother's experiments. He also tried to was going to throw the cat from the 3rd floor window. Because it says that cats will land on their feet. And so he wanted to see whether cats really land on his feet. So as he got ready to throw her out of the window, my wife came by and said, "What are you doing with the cat? Get her back inside." So he was not able to do that experiment, thankfully. Okay. Anyway, so Ethan. Blue and cat. So you're another blue cat. Okay, great. Alan? Blue and dog. Okay. All right. Lebanon? Wei? Wei? Okay, red and cat. Okay. All right. Carrie? Carrie, are you here? Oh, okay. Pink and cat. Okay. My daughter's favorite color is pink. Yes. Her room is a purple pink color. Everything in her room is that sort of color. Santiago? A blue lion. Okay, great. Okay. All right. Iran? Iran? Blue and cat. Okay. Whoa. Francis? Brown cats. Okay. Oh, I have to bring my cat here then. Okay. After she becomes white again. Connor. Black dogs. Okay, great. Yeah. My. So, yeah. John. Professor. Some other professors tell me that black dogs are very good to eat. Have you ever tried? No. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So. Okay. Alex. Black and dogs, okay. Have you tried eating black dogs? No, okay. No, okay. I think I eat dogs twice. Both times I do not know I'm eating dog. Once when I was traveling in Liaoning countryside, in Liaoning, that's what they were eating for dinner. They ate a dog for dinner, and the other time was in Philippines. And it was only after I ate the dog that they told me, oh, by the way, we just ate, do you know what we ate today? I said, no. A dog. You know that dog you were playing with last night? I said, well, why didn't we want to eat him? Oh, she said, oh, the dog already had puppies, so now we have new puppies, so we don't need the older dog anymore, so we can, we have new young dogs we're raising, so the old one we can eat. Okay, great. All right, Anthony? Red turtles. Okay, great. Jesse? Black turtles. Okay, great. Kenny? White dogs. Okay. Ivan? Black cat. Okay. Thomas? Turtle and purple dogs. Purple dolphins. Okay, purple dolphins. Okay, great. Okay. All right, Robert? Purple zebras. Okay. Duke? White penguins. Okay. Calvin? Black horses, okay. Spencer? Blue cat, okay. Jerry? Blue dogs, good. Ian, sorry. Yellow dogs, okay. Henry? White dogs. Limboyu? Blue cats. And do you have an English name? Randy. Okay, good. Okay. James? Black lions. Okay, cool. All right. Alpha? Blue cat. Okay. Rita? White dogs. Rose? White cats. Okay, then you like Snowflake. Okay. Sean? Brown dog. Aries? Blue panther. Oh, blue hamster. Okay, blue hamster. Okay. Tony? Black cat. Okay. Alexander? Purple cats. Okay. Okay. Hank? White mouse. Okay, Jim? Okay. All right. Okay. Angus? Blue dinosaurs. Oh, blue dinosaurs. Okay. All right. Jason? Yellow cat. Good. When? Yellow dogs. Good. Okay. Kevin? Kevin? Blue dogs. Okay, great. Peter? Green dogs. Okay, yay, the first green. Okay, good. Junwei? White dogs. Do you have an English name? Thomas is already taken. Pardon? Carrie. Carrie, okay. This? Okay. Or would you prefer just Tom? Okay. Okay, Tom. Okay. Edwin. Blue dog. Okay. Josh. Black cat. Okay, good. Leo. Leo. Gray dog. The real Wendy. White dog. Good. Okay. Jevons. Yellow dogs. Hey, Jevons is marked as a spelling error. Okay. Sam. Blue tiger. Okay. Jack. Nope. Orange dog. Okay. Orange. Sloth. Oh, the sloth. Oh, great. Oh, I like sloths. Yes. Okay. Okay. Sloths. Okay, I'll remember that. Okay, so we got someone like sloths. We have yeah. One of my daughter's stuffed animals is a sloth. She has a sloth in her room, a stuffed sloth. You know those stuffies? Do you guys stuffy? You know, young girls often like stuffed toys, stuffed plush soft toys. So one of her stuffed toys is a sloth. She has with the long arms and long legs. So not too many people have sloths. Most people have stuffed bears, right? Teddy bears. But she has a stuffed sloth. So yes, so you should get along with my daughter. Okay, great. Daphne. Pink mouse. Okay, good. Astrid. Red cats. Okay, good. Franya. Blue panda. Okay, all right. Good. Okay. Nathaniel is overseas still, or in quarantine, and pardon? Pink dog. Okay, pink dog. Okay. And finally, Yitzhak. Black dog. Okay, great. Okay. My favorite animal. I quickly give you a picture of him because you may not know him, but he's come on. So this is my favorite animal. Okay, favorite animal is this guy called a snow leopard. See a picture of him. Maybe we can make him nice and big. Okay, snow leopard. There he is. Isn't he beautiful? I haven't got these guys down yet. Sorry about that. Snow leopard. Anyway, there's my favorite animal. This guy. I like his big tail. He is one of the longest tails, and he uses it to wrap it around his feet when it's cold in the snow and he's trying to sleep, try to keep his feet warm. So his tail is a very nice blanket. Okay, so anyway, so there he is. He lives in the high mountains in China-India border. That's his home. Okay, all right. So we got everybody attended. Great. Oops. Let's close his attendance sheet. Okay, so last week we were talking about opening and continuing the conversation. Today we want to move on to, we've already worked through opening the conversation, right? We talked about some things to talk about, some things not to talk about. So now we're going to continue on with the idea of how we continue and end the conversation. So this will be section 2.3 in your book. Okay, okay, we're opening with a different guy than I expected to open it. Okay, never mind. Let's see how to clear this up. Okay, let's get rid of, close that. Let's change to our opening controller. Let's go to Flash Player. Okay. All right, so we're now moving, transferring information, continuing, and progressing through the conversation. So last week, okay, opening the conversation. Let's have okay, I've got myself all tangled up here. Okay, let's have somebody open conversation. Okay, how about, okay, you guys can, okay, okay, all right, okay, hi, okay, here you go. Okay, you go. Okay, go through as we talked about the previous week, opening the conversation. Huh? Open the conversation. Someone you stranger, you don't know each other. First time you meet.
Hello, my name is Tony. I was born in Taoyuan and
Oh, don't give so much information.
I'm Tony.
Tell your life story.
I'm Robert. And you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, all right. Okay, what key thing did they not do? What? Okay, in the opening the conversation, what one key thing did they miss? What did they miss? What did they not do that they need to do when you open a conversation? Okay, listen carefully to them. Listen carefully to them again. Okay. Start again. Let's try again.
Hello, I'm Tony.
I'm Robert.
What are you doing today?
No. That's in the transfer. You haven't opened the conversation correctly yet. Okay, let's try somebody else. Here you go. You
Hello there.
Hello,
My name is James.
my name is Rose.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Same key mistake. Same key mistake. Okay. Let's try. Okay, let's go to the back row. Maybe we have a better chance at the back row. Okay, John. Okay. And you with John. Okay. Okay.
Hello? Okay. Hi, my name is John.
Hello, my name is Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Same mistake. Same mistake. 3 people, 3 groups, same mistake. All right, let's try. Okay, I'll do with you. Hello.
Hi,
Okay, my name's John. What's yours?
my name is Rose.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Rose.
Nice to meet you too, John.
Okay, this time what did we do this time differently? Repeat name. Yes. Key thing is you must repeat the other person's name in the introduction. You cannot just not repeat the other person's name. It's very important. You must repeat the other person's name. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so, all right. You two again. This time, let's do it again. This time we'll do it correct.
Hi.
Hi,
My name is James, and you?
my name is Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose.
Nice to meet you too. 你叫什么？哦，James。
Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, that time it's correct. Okay, good. So the conversation is now opened. Okay. This is the standard opening. Now we can start with information transfer, the continuing the conversation part. Okay, so in continuing the conversation, we are going to have to start to talk about other things, right? And that's what we're going to concentrate on today is continuing the conversation and ending the conversation. So basically, our flow, as you can see in our textbook, is going to be something like this. Name or handle. That's in the opening of the conversation. You found the person's name. Now, we go into this part, transferring of information. Okay? Now, this is just one order. Transfer of information may not be in this order. You may start talking about research interests first and not talk about location. You may talk about location, jump to research interest, or you may talk about academic major, because obviously if the person is a university student, you're probably going to talk about academic major. If it's a PhD student, you're likely going to start to talk about what he's interested in research, right? He's going to probably tell you about his research project. So you probably won't do that one. And you may not even, if you're both speaking Chinese, obviously you're not doing this in English anymore. Okay, never mind. Okay, forget about that. Language is spoken, maybe. They might ask you that. You may not talk about that. Location, well, maybe not talk about that. Current location, well, you're all in Taoyuan now, so you probably aren't going to talk about that. You might end up talking about where you were born, though, right? That might. Length of time here, well, you all know, you're all in first year, so you know you've only been here for 1 year, so not even 1 year, 1 month, right? So you're probably not going to talk about that either. Okay, other places lived, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, with someone else, with one other person in your table. Please go through and open. Okay, so in summary then, you can talk about a name, location, position, research are all good in information transfer. What's not good is to ask how old somebody is, what something cost, what their salary is, or how much money their parents have, or their weight. Okay, so these things are things that you should not ask about. Okay, so we had okay, so try, okay, just in your small groups, choose one other person in your small group. Hold it. You guys got 5 people in your group this week, right? Can we transfer over to group 1? Okay, remember, guys, same person from group 1 move across to group 1 again this week? Group 13? Group 13 is, who do you want to move across? Who moved across to group 1 last week? Okay, can you move across? Thank you. Any other group with only 3 people in it? Okay, you guys, okay. Oh, you guys have 5 in the corner, right? Itzhak, can you just slide across the table beside you? Yeah, just over one table. Yeah, so you'll be in that group today, okay? And can get to know these guys, okay? So you guys are left with 3 people. Okay, good. So, all right. So, except for your group, choose one other partner in your group. Practice a short conversation. Open it. Continue the conversation. You don't have to close. No need to close the conversation. We'll talk about that shortly. Okay? You got about 4 minutes to do that. Okay. Okay, let's come back. Okay, all right, let's quickly do a quick review on a quick summary on that. Tom, come forward. We can have a conversation. Okay, I'd like to have a conversation with you, Tom. Okay. Oh, hello.
Hello,
My name is Jonathan David White. What's yours?
my name is Tom.
Okay. Okay, Tom. Please call me John.
Okay, John. Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you too. Thom.
My name is Tom, not Song.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Tom. Okay. Okay, Tom. So, where are you from?
I come from Hsinchu. And you?
I come from Canada. And I've been living in Taiwan now for over 10 years. Okay. So obviously I probably know. So what language do you speak? Other languages besides English?
I can speak Chinese.
Oh, what type of Chinese? So, do you speak Beijing Hua, Guangdong Hua, Fujian Hua, Kejia Hua, Hokkien, Hakka, Taichu? What type of Chinese do you speak?
I speak Hakka Hua.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, are you going to ask me anything?
No.
No questions for me.
Do you speak Hakka language?
No, I do not speak any Hakka. I am sorry. I too bad. I would like to be able to, but I cannot. Okay, so so you're studying in International Program for Electrical Engineering, right? And why are you studying in this program?
Because I want a good future.
Oh, okay, great. And do you have any hobbies or interests that that are your, what sort of things are you interested in your free time, or do you have any free time?
Free times. I'm interested in playing volleyball.
Aren't you going to ask any questions, or you need to respond? Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Tom. Ideally, you should ask a few more questions. Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right, let's try to do one more quickly. I won't do the person I embarrassed before though this time. Okay. Let's find somebody more. Somebody else to harass. Okay. Wendy. Okay, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. Okay. No, not Wendy. No, Wendy. How about Astrid? Astrid, where are you? Here, okay, good. All right, okay, Astrid. Okay. Yeah, at least come closer. Yes, come up. Okay, don't worry. We've already demonstrated distance. Okay, so we don't have to do that again. Don't worry. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello, my name is Astrid. And what's your name?
My name is Jonathan David White, but just call me John.
Hi, John. And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Astrid. Okay, good. Conversation is now opened. Now we can do communication transfer. So, are you from where's your hometown?
My hometown is Taichung. How about you?
My hometown is in Canada. It's a small village called Oakville, and it is near a big city called Toronto. Do you have any so what is your do you speak other languages besides English?
Spanish? Yeah. How about you?
How about me? I speak a little. I speak Japanese. Okay, and English and a little bit of Chinese. Okay, you only speak. You don't speak Chinese? Oh, you speak Chinese. You also speak Chinese. You can also speak not just Spanish and English. Okay, you can also speak Chinese. Good. What type of Chinese dialects can you speak?
Normal. Just Chinese.
Mandarin Chinese.
Mandarin Chinese.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mandarin Chinese. Okay. Cool. Okay. And do you have any hobbies and interests?
I love to play game. Video game.
Video games. Okay. What type of video games do you like?
Computer game.
Okay. So we'll stop here. So the conversation is not ended, but that basically gives us into the continuing the conversation. Now, in this graph, I've also mentioned a couple other areas. So name, location, position, research. We're talking with engineers. Very common to talk about these things. Don't talk about age, cost, salary. Be careful. Politics and religion. Recently, this become very tense. I'm surprised in the last 4 years. 5 years ago, I think no problem. But now if you talk to Americans about Trump, people have very strong opinions. Some people are very strong pro-Trump. Other people really hated him. So it become very, before everyone, politician in U.S. is all very, okay, male namadata chabi, not too much difference between them. So people will discuss and everyone have happy discussion. Now people are very tense about politics, so probably not a good idea to talk to people about politics or express your opinions on Trump, especially. You can get people angry very quickly, unfortunately. I notice also in Taiwan, politics become more tense. People argue more about that now. People used to argue, but it was more friendly argue. Now it seems people are more angry argue. So probably not a good idea to talk about politics. Religion, I think it's okay, warning, some people might get upset, other people, no problem, are very happy to talk about it. So religion depends on the person. Probably, it was more, people were more, maybe 25 years ago, religion was more, people would not talk about it. But now people are much more relaxed about that. Okay, so 25 years ago was basically no, now maybe okay, much more relaxed. Okay, so this is, politics become more tense. All right, so that's our, so this would be our, okay, now, let's now talk about, I want to talk a little bit about party games. Okay, you guys probably, you also are familiar with this, or also called icebreakers. So the purpose of this activity is basically to learn about party games and to learn about yes-no questions. Okay, now, in general, when people are trying to introduce new friends, or a host will invite people to their house, they will often organize a small party game. A party game is usually a game played by, or also called a parlor game, or icebreakers. The purpose is to help people get to know each other who have not met before, in a more relaxed environment, so they don't feel pressure or any pressure or yali. Okay, so they want to break the ice. They're usually played by groups of maybe 6, 10 people is maximum. So it should only be about 6 or 7 people in a small group, maybe, and help people to slowly get to know each other. It removes the pressure of what to say next, and then we will just play. So one game that is quite common is a game called 20 Questions. Okay? 20 Questions is a game that you can only answer yes or no to. The goal is to determine who or what a person is. And basically, in your small group, up to 20 questions can be asked. And the person who is it can hides what they are, and if they're guessed what they are, that their score. So for example, if I am asked 6 questions and they find out my identity in 6 questions, I get a score of 6. If it takes 12 questions to find out my identity, I get a score of 12. Maximum score is 20, because if people can't guess after 20, they're not going to guess, so the game has to end. So that's why it's called 20 questions. If 20, that's the end and the person wins. Okay? All right, so let's do a couple of examples to try to understand. So this is the basics. Okay, so the rules. So generally, if you're at a party game, you will come up and you'll be given a small playing card. That's the person you have to be. So for example, or that's the fruit you have to be. So for example, I could pull a playing card. It would say mango. Okay, now I am a mango. Okay, and people have to guess. Okay, so I can tell them what category I am. I am a fruit. So for example, I'm starting the game. Okay, I draw the card mango. Okay, it's the category fruit. I will then tell my group, the other people in the group, I am a fruit. Okay. And you now have to start to guess. So someone can guess. Do you grow in, it has to be do. It has to be yes, no. It can't be where do you grow. It has to be do you grow in Canada. And I can say, no, I don't. No. Do you grow in Taiwan? Yes. Do you grow on trees? Yes. Are you green? Well, that's hard to answer, right? This is not, so this one you just cannot answer yes or no. Okay? So this one cannot, are you green? Cannot answer yes or no, because it's sometimes green, sometimes other colors, right? Green mango, etc. So, and then you say, are you, so, do people, are you bigger than an apple? Yes. Okay. Are you bigger than a basketball? The answer would be no. Okay. Are you a mango? Yes. Okay. Yes. 7 questions. Okay. So in this time, you're looking up pictures of. Okay. You're looking. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. Actually, well, we never use that word. We don't. We call it bell fruit, not sugar apple. Sorry. Bell fruit. I don't think. No, we don't use it. I'm surprised. You sometimes look up on Google that it gives you a word that we never use for that definition. So that's kind of cool. Okay. All right. But anyways, we're not going to play about fruit. We're going to play about. Okay. For example, scientists. Niels Bohr. This might be a card you get. Niels Bohr. Dates. Nationality, occupation, contributions, awards. So people have to guess who he is. You can ask what nationality is he. Are you a German? Are you a French? Okay, are you alive? Are you dead? Are you a man? Are you a woman? Are you Are you a physicist? Yes. Are you a biologist? No. Okay. Did you win the Nobel Prize? Yes. Okay. And the person will try to guess for Niels Bohr. Okay. So I will now give out some cards and we'll. Okay. So do not show anybody else at your table. I'll give to one person in your table. The other 3 people need to guess. Once you have guessed that person, someone else from your table come to me and get a different card. Okay, and it'll be that person. Okay. So we have I have about how many different things? I have a number of different scientists, and we'll see how that works. Okay. All right. Let's give you okay. Don't let anybody else know who you are. Other people try to start again. Okay. Do we understand how to play the game, right? So everyone else is going to ask yes, no questions. Okay. Choose a card, any card. Okay. When your group has guessed you, please come up and get the next card. Have the person who guessed bring up the next card and get a new card for it, and they can guess that person. Okay, we can now we'll break for about 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes, Shoshi. 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to, then we'll go on to the next part, okay? So, 5 minute break, okay. Okay, let's get started again. So we are try to get moving a little bit quicker again. We seem to be going, sorry for my slow speed. Okay, now, once party games are finished, yes and no questions, we can then move on to our conversation. So this is another way of opening the conversation with yes, no questions, these sort of party games. After that, the conversation has been opened. We're now moving on to information transfer again. So we've seen 3 ways of opening the conversation right now, right? We've talked about opening with stranger, opening with acquaintance. Now we're sort of opening through a party game. In any of these cases, the conversation is now open and we can continue on with information transfer. Now, one way of doing helping information transfer is WH questions are very helpful for communication. So if we think of this, WH questions are who, what, where, when, why, and who, right? These are the WH questions. So in the previous yes-no questions are basically stop conversation questions. Because I can just say, are you from Taiwan? So he only has to say one word. Are you a student? No, you don't have to even say I am. You just say yes, right? Are you a boy? Okay. Do you like school? All right, so it's very... Okay, so yes, no questions are basically stop a conversation. If you want to keep a conversation going, it is much better to use WH questions. So instead of saying, are you from Taiwan, I should ask, where are you from?
I come from Taiwan.
Okay, so he can answer, I come from Taiwan, or he could answer, I come from Taichung, which is a city in Taiwan. So he can add more information. Okay, instead of saying, are you a boy, I could say, no, actually, that's probably hard to do. Never mind, that's sort of not useful for that question. So what things are you interested in? That would be much more better than saying, are you interested in EE? Yes and no. What are you interested in?
I'm interested in basketball and baseball.
Okay, basketball and baseball. Okay, good. So we can get a longer answer. So WH questions are very important in conversation and in learning information. Here is a poem that we're going to look at by Rudyard Kipling. Now, Rudyard Kipling is considered the engineer's poet. He wrote The Calling of the Engineer, which, if you are in the West, we have a ceremony called Kipling ceremony. When you become an engineer, it's called being kippled. Now this ceremony takes place in the dark at after 12 midnight. Okay? In which you actually get, and what is done in it, basically poems by this person is read by old engineers. They come and read this poem to you, and then once the poem is read, after midnight, the area is relatively dark, they take your hand and slide an iron ring on your finger. Once you have the iron ring on your finger, then you are considered an engineer. Now the iron ring is very special. The iron is taken away from, for example, right now if we were engineers in Taiwan, you know there's a big fire in Kaohsiung in which 49 people died, right? So the metal in that building would then be made into rings for engineers if we were in Canada. So you may take from a building or place that people have died because of bad engineering, and then they make rings out of it and put it on your finger. The idea is to remind you as an engineer, you make mistakes, you may cost people their lives. So the first rings came from a bridge that collapsed. And that bridge that collapsed killed people, so they took the pieces of the metal from the bridge and forged these rings out of it. So we see this sort of happening and putting it on. So this is part of, and so that would be the engineering, or called the Kipling ceremony. All right, but he also wrote this other one that I think, this poem, and we're going to look at it, this one. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. I send them over land and sea. I send them east and west. But after they have worked for me, I give them all a rest. Okay, so he's saying, okay, I use these words all the time to get information. Always ask what, why, when, how, where, who. Don't be satisfied not to answer questions. Okay, when I came to Taiwan about 15 years ago to work with a professor at Taida, who's a friend of mine. This professor gave us also made something very similar. He said, if you want to be a successful engineer, everybody should think you're a fool. His idea, and that's how I met him the first time when I was working in Japan at a company in Japan. He came to the company, and there was lots of students there, and he asked all these what, why, when, where, how, why questions. He always asked so many questions. The students were so frustrated, as well as they came to the professor and said, we had this really stupid person come from Taiwan and ask questions, so many questions about how our equipment worked and everything like that. He didn't seem to understand anything or know nothing. 1 year later, we looked in very important International Science Digest. He had written a paper in which he had showed how to do the thing better than the Japanese had done it. He had taken their system, copied it, and then improved it, and was able to publish a paper in an international journal. I remember the people say, hey, you know that idiot who came by and looked at us? He just published a paper that's much better than our research that we've been working on for 5 years. So that's how I first got to know him, and then I came to Taiwan and work with him. Together, we worked together. Because I like his attitude, always asking questions. He would ask so many questions about anybody. In talks, he'd always be sticking up his hand, asking questions, so that he understood everything perfectly, and then he could do better than everybody else. So a lot of people thought he was a foolish person. But he said, okay, I don't mind looking like a fool, because I will be the one who is successful. Unfortunately, he got cancer when he was 31 or 32, and died by the time he was 40. So he been very brilliant guy, but he was also quite cool because even then he was on the Nobel Prize nominating committee. So he was nominating people for Nobel Prize, but nobody really knew that until after he died. Then we were trying to, with his students, we were cleaning out his office, and we found all these papers from the Nobel Prize Committee asking for his advice on whether this person should get a Nobel Prize or not. But he never tell anybody. He's always very humble. Nobody ever know most people just think of him as someone who's sort of a foolish guy because of all his stupid questions. My uncle was the same way. He would drive by someone's house and see something interesting. He would stop and go to the person's front door and knock and say, how did you do this? Why did you do it this way? How come you did this way? He himself, so my uncle was a professor, and he built 2 airplanes by himself, all by hand. And he sold them both. So he did it in his garage as a hobby, building airplanes. So he would ask questions. So these are important. Don't forget to use questions. What, why, when, how, where, and who. Now, this is just the first verse. Now, the second verse I think is really cool, and the next part of this verse is very cool. Let's move down. Sorry. Okay. Let's look at the next verses. So I can get those done. Okay, good. Okay. I let them rest from 9 to 5. For I am busy then. In other words, he's not asking a lot of questions at work. Work is boring. Okay, he has to do his job. Okay, so he just does his job, as well as breakfast, lunch, and tea, for they are hungry men. In other words, he doesn't ask people a lot of questions when they're trying to eat. People get upset like that, right? If you're trying to eat dinner and I keep asking you questions, oh, what's this? What's that? Why are you eating this? How is this made? How did you make this tie? How did you do this? I'm trying to eat. Shut up. Okay, all right. So for Westerners, we generally try to keep quiet when we're eating. That's considered to be polite. Chinese, have you ever noticed that's a difference between Chinese restaurant and Western restaurant, right? Western restaurant is quiet. Chinese restaurant, very noisy, especially in the south of Taiwan. Whoa, how rude now. Okay. All right. So this is a different. So They are, but different folks have different views. I know a person small. She keeps 10 million serving men who get no rest at all. So he knows one small person. What's a small person? What's a small person? What does he mean when he says small person?
I don't know.
What do you think he means?
His mind is very narrow.
Small person. Okay, that's one possible meaning, but probably not the meaning the poet is using here. Humble, that's another meaning. Okay, that's another way we can use. I think in this poem he's using small person for a child who's not yet gone to school. 还没有上学. Because this small person has 10 million serving men who get no rest at all. In other words, she sends them abroad on her own affairs from the second she opens her eyes. This little child. 1 million hows, 2 million wheres, and 7 million whys. I don't know if you know little children, they're always asking questions. Why? My daughter's asking questions. You know, if her mother says, you need to come back, you need to do this, she'll ask, why do I need to do that? Why? Why should I do this? Why do I have to practice my violin? Why do I need to study violin? Why do I need to play the piano? Why do I have to study piano lessons? Why do I have to go to school? Why can't I stay at home? Why do I have to eat the broccoli? Why do I have to eat that? Why can't I have more mushrooms? Why do I have to eat that? Why? What? Always asking questions. My little daughter, why? Okay, so he's saying, hey, look at little children. They're learning fast. Why do they learn so fast? They have 10 million serving men. They're always asking how, what, where, why, when, and who. So they use these questions. We also need to use these questions if we are going to learn and study. Taiwanese are nice, quiet, and it's a schooling system make them more and more quiet. You guys, right? I think when you're gaozhang, teachers don't appreciate you sticking up your hand and asking questions every few minutes. Teacher will get very, fan la, how fan. So this is not the good way of learning. We need to use a lot of questions. All right, so let's echo together. Okay, so we'll read together. 1, 2, 3. I keep 6 on. 我们一起念. I read together. Okay, that means you say and I say at the same time. And we'll try to do it with some sort of a beat. Maybe do we need a rap beat or something? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. I send them over land and sea. I send them east and west. But after they have worked for me, I give them all a rest. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. I send them over land and sea. I send them east and west. But after they have worked for me, I give them all a rest. And memorizing poetry is a good way to learn English. I met a guy, when I first came to Taiwan, I met this guy, Lu Dai Hua, I think his name is. I don't know if you heard of him. No? Probably not. He's getting older now. But anyways, when I met him, he spent, I think, 10 or 12 years on Ludao as a prisoner because he ran a drug gang, he was a Heisha Hui de Lingdao in Taiwan. His group had killed a bunch of people, so he spent a lot of time in Ludao. He escaped once from Ludao and was betrayed to the police again and was sent back to Ludao a second time to go back. Ludao, Green Island, right? Prison. He actually swam from the island to mainland to escape one time. So on his first escape, but he got sent back. But anyways, by studying poetry in prison, he learned to speak English. He also memorized Lincoln's speech and something like 100 great speeches in English he memorized. I was so surprised when I met this guy who could speak perfect English. And I asked him, well, what's your background, and he said, well, I grew up in Taipei, and then I was leader of this black society, and I ordered my guys to get rid of some other people in some other societies, and somehow we got caught. Then I went back to prison. I got escaped from prison and got rid of the people who betrayed me, and then got sent back to prison for getting rid of them. And I said, well, why did you decide to learn English in prison? And he said, well, I learned English and Japanese in prison. I said, why? He said, because I want to take my gang international. In order so that I can make the, I want to export, I want my American subdivision and my Japanese division. I thought, whoa, this guy has plans. Amazing guy. So just because just because he wasn't in university doesn't mean he's not a very smart guy. I was amazed at his English anyway. So, and when he speaks, you really feel like he memorized how these great speakers speak too. So he could really make you feel like, oh, I want to go kill somebody for you. Anyways, great, interesting guy. Anyway, so if you ever get a chance to hear him talk about his life story, he's now about 55, 60 years old. He'd be a kind of a good, neat guy to talk to. Anyways, all right, that's about all. So let's listen to a conversation, and we're going to listen to a couple of conversations at conferences, and I want you to write down in your book the WH questions that are asked. You can see there's a spot in your textbook, right? On page, we're now on page, well, not your, okay. Okay, so let's open our, okay, keep going. Yeah, right at the top of page 37. Top of page 37, there's topic, question, answer. Topic, question, answer. Topic, question, answer. Okay, top of page 37. Top of page 37. Okay, you guys are, okay, top of page 37. Okay, this area here. Okay, great. You guys are, where are you guys? Okay, yeah, top of page 37. Yeah, okay. Top of page 37. Good. Okay, so let's listen and try to hear the WH questions used. Write down the answers, okay? All right.
I'm very sorry. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Benny.
You speak English very well. How long have you been studying it?
Thank you. I have studied English for 8 years. Do you mind if I ask what city do you live in?
Not at all. I live in Hamilton but study in Toronto.
Does it take long to drive from Hamilton to Toronto?
About 90 minutes, if there is no traffic jam. But I usually take the train so that I can read papers on the way. Do you live far from your university?
No, not very far, only a 5-minute walk. I chose to live in the student dormitory so that it is easier for me to do experiments at night.
So what are you majoring in?
My major is electrical engineering, specializing in system control.
Quite different from me. I am studying power FETs. By the way, do you like the band?
Yeah, it's alright, but it's not my favorite.
What sort of music do you prefer?
Rock. I especially like the group Kansas. Yourself?
I also like rock music, but I have never heard of Kansas.
Okay, we'll listen to it one more time. All right, and try to fill in the blanks if you did not. Hopefully, okay. What's this doing? Go down. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Okay, one more time. Listen.
I'm very sorry. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Betty.
You speak English very well. How long have you been studying it?
Thank you. I have studied English for 8 years. Do you mind if I ask what city do you live in?
Not at all. I live in Hamilton but study in Toronto.
Does it take long to drive from Hamilton to Toronto?
About 90 minutes, if there is no traffic jam. But I usually take the train so that I can read papers on the way. Do you live far from your university?
No, not very far, only a 5-minute walk. I chose to live in the student dormitory so that it is easier for me to do experiments at night.
So what are you majoring in?
My major is electrical engineering, specializing in system control.
Quite different from me. I am studying power FETs. By the way, do you like the band?
Yeah, it's alright, but it's not my favorite.
What sort of music do you prefer?
Rock. I especially like the group Kansas. Yourself?
I also like rock music, but I have never heard of Kansas.
Purpose of this is listen to WH questions for them and try to practice your tingly EDR. Okay, let's try one more next time. One more time.
I'm very sorry. I didn't catch your name.
My name's Betty.
You speak English very well. How long have you been studying it?
Okay, there's the first question. So the first question would be, how long have you been studying it? Okay, so it's a how question. All right, and let's hear her answer.
Thank you. I have studied English for 8 years.
Okay, so we have her answer. I have studied English for how long? 8 years, right. Okay, let's listen now for city of residence.
Do you mind if I ask what city do you live in?
Okay. So the only key part is the last part of it. What city do you live in? Right. The rest is just sort of filler words. To try to filler words are words that you say that have no meaning. Okay. So what city do you live in? And the boy's answer is
Not at all. I live in Hamilton, but study in Toronto.
okay. So he lives in Hamilton, but he studies in Toronto. Okay, so he lives in Hamilton is a question. The boy adds a little bit of extra information that he doesn't study in Hamilton, but he lives there. Okay, Hamilton is a good place to live because it's cheap. It's like saying you live in Taoyuan but study in Taipei. Taipei is more expensive to live. Taoyuan is much cheaper to live, right? The housing price is much cheaper, so you better, if you want to live, have a nicer house, you can get a better house in Taoyuan than you would in, say, Toronto. And then you just have to commute each day, right? Okay, continuing on. The next question is going to field of study.
Does it take long to drive from Hamilton to Toronto?
About 90 minutes, if there is no traffic jam. But I usually take the train so that I can read papers on the way. Do you live far from your university?
No, not very far, only a 5-minute walk. I chose to live in the student dormitory so that it is easier for me to do experiments at night.
So what are you majoring in?
Okay, the question about field of study is another what question. What are you majoring in? So it's a what question. And the girl's answer is
My major is electrical engineering, specializing in system control.
okay, so her major is electrical engineering. And the girl adds a little bit more information that she specializes in system control, which is a subset of electrical engineering in Jiazhu, right? Jiazhu, I think. Jiazhu, in our section A, electrical engineering A, one of the small subgroups of A is dealing with systems control. Okay? And I also do some systems control too, but that's beside the point, although I'm in C. So that sort of overlaps a lot. Okay. Actually, most of my stuff is system control, actually. But anyways, okay. All right, so
Quite different from me. I am studying power FETs. By the way, do you like the band?
Yeah, it's alright, but it's not my favorite.
What sort of music do you prefer?
Rock. I especially like the group Kansas. Yourself?
I also like rock music, but I have never heard of Kansas.
okay. Okay, so what sort of music do you prefer? It's another what question, right? What sort of music do you prefer? And the girl's reply for that is rock. Okay. So these are all, you can hear a lot of WH questions. Now, within that conversation, however, there were a few yes/no questions. So what I'd like you to go through, what we're going to go through now, okay, if I'm hitting down through the textbook again, we looked at this table. We're trying to fill out now. We just filled out this table. Now, identify the yes/no questions in the dialogue. I put the dialogue down again. Find which ones are yes/no questions. Replace the yes/no questions with WH questions. Okay? So find the yes/no questions. There's actually 3 of them. Replace the 3 yes/no questions with a WH question. Okay? So I've got it down here. So in this table, please replace the yes/no questions with WH questions. Okay? You can discuss that with your group as you do it. Which is the correct WH questions to replace with the yes/no questions. Okay, let's continue on. We want to do one more thing before we end. Sorry. Okay. Now, perhaps the simplest way of continuing a conversation is just to ask and you. Just to add 2 words to the end of an answer you give to somebody else's questions. Just add add and you, and you, and you. Okay, sorry, move that over a little bit. For example, so this technique is seen. Are you a graduate student or a professor? Okay, bad question. I am just a first-year graduate student. This is my first conference. And you? Okay, I'm also a graduate student, first-year PhD. Are you enjoying the conference so far? Yes, but I'm finding it difficult to follow some of the talks. And you? Okay, so adding this and you allows you to continue a conversation. So WH questions is the first way, and you is the second way, and we'll talk about the third way next week, okay? So we'll see you guys all next week. Hopefully we'll move a little bit faster next week, okay? All right, sorry about being a little bit slow on teaching this, okay?